How y'all doing today? I definitely gotta get a better light system in this room. As you can see, I don't know what else I can do. I mean, I've tried different lights. I mean, none of them seem to work the way I want them to. I mean, actually, I got something that might work. Hold on. Let's try this for a minute. It's a lantern. It seems to work, but the other half of it is you gotta have a place to put it, so which I don't seem to have. Let's try that. Alright, well, makes it a little better, don't it? Not fully, but it's a step in the right direction. So anyways, you're probably wondering what my what I have on the docket for today is. Well, I'm gonna do another one of my random thoughts videos. I haven't done one of those for a while. This is gonna be random thoughts for the day. Okay, so what's been going on recently? Well, let's start with what's going on in the world. There's been a lot of storms recently, a lot of snow in places, flooding in places like Tennessee and stuff like that, so that's not good, but you know, it's weather. I mean, you can't control the weather despite what some people think, so a lot of people are freaking out about what the president's doing, like the executive orders and stuff like that. It's like, well, it's, you know, every president we've ever had has done this kind of thing. I mean, you're not going to agree with everything a president does, but, you know, freaking out about it's not going to help you either, so it is, you know, it is what it is. I mean, the other half of it is people hear something on the news that they think is true, and they're like, well, sorry about that, I'm going to try to get a little closer there, that they think is true, and then without hearing, you know, the person say it or whatever, it's like, well, that's why I don't watch the news, because the news is full of shit. Okay, I'm going to turn this off, because this isn't working. But yeah, it's actually better without the light. But you know, that's why not to watch the news. I mean, you're hearing their interpretation of it, but it's not always what's a fact. You know, people take what they hear on the news and take it as fact, and that goes with anything they hear on the news. It's usually one-sided, so. The other thing that people seem to be doing these days is they let you know, small things turn into big things, and you know, it's, you know, life's too short for that. I mean, you know, something it could seem like something big at the time, you know, to you, and then something happens to somebody that you know that, you know, will essentially shock you back to your senses. I mean, you know, sometimes that happens, but you know, what seems like a big thing is usually a small thing, but then you see something happen to somebody that actually is a big thing, so it puts things into perspective. And I was reminded of that recently with somebody I know. I'm not going to mention his name, but something happened to him that I wouldn't wish on anybody, so, you know, puts things into perspective, so you can have your problems, but sometimes, a lot of times, somebody else it's dealing with something that's much bigger. So. That's why I try to get along with everybody, but the problem is that not everybody wants to get along with you, as I've come to understand. Sometimes that's just the way it is, you know. Sometimes you can think you're okay with somebody, and then you find out later down the road that they never really gave a shit about you in the first place. But you'll have that. It's just like a friend of mine said, it's like not everybody is going to stay in your life forever. That's true. Sorry, I got morning mucus in my throat. That's why I don't usually do too many videos early in the morning. Another thing I see people people fight about, you know, a lot of people fight about these days is like if they're in a relationship and the one thing that they fight over is money. Okay, that's the one thing you should never fight about, because the money comes and goes, but as long as the love is there, as long as you both love each other, then that's all you really need. Who cares how much money you have? It's like if you love each other and you care for each other, who cares how much money you have? I mean, just as long as you can hold each other and love each other and be there for each other, because that's what good couples do. Okay, this is another thing that, you know, I've seen firsthand. It's like good couples, they pick each other up. They don't tear each other down. They don't look for ways to tear each other down. They want to stay together, you know, then, you know, you look for ways to pick each other up. You know, if your significant other, you know, if your girlfriend or whatever has a bad day, and then you find a way to make that day better. At least that's what I would do, but, you know, I never really... Well, I mean, I've been in relationships, obviously, but I've never really had that chance to, you know, show, you know, somebody that I truly care about. I mean, if you're wondering if there's somebody that I truly love and truly care about, there is. I mean, it's probably not the person that some people, you know, may think. Her name doesn't start with a D, if that's what you're insinuating. Although that person, not to be mean, she had her chance. She had multiple chances, and she blew every one of them. So, you know, whatever. That's on her. I'm not trying to be mean about it, but, you know, I tried the best, what I had, and wasn't enough, so whatever. But person that truly has my heart, you know, there's very select few people that may know who that is. I mean, I always thought that she cast some sort of spell on me, because it seems like never could fully forget about her, even though I've tried, obviously. But, you know, that's the way it goes. I mean, that's why Hank Williams has virtually a song for her, all of those feelings. But, you know, some of us, that's me and, you know, some of my friends, you know. One of them, which does a YouTube channel on here, I'm not going to mention his name, but I'm pretty sure, you know, he knows. Pretty sure my friend Aaron knows. It's like there's a select few of us that are just, we're just not meant to be with somebody, I guess. I just, you know, I'm not saying this to be morbid. I'm saying it because it's true. I'm probably gonna die just sad and alone, just like Hank did. You know, that's one of the reasons why when I go, I want that song played, "I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry" by him. But, you know, that's just the way it is for some of us. You know, that's life. You know, moving on to another subject, though. This is sports related. There seems to be a lot of money spending in baseball recently. You know, a lot of deferred contracts are just freaking people out. Well, that's probably what's going to lead to a salary cap. Because honestly, these players should not be making $700, $800 million contracts for swinging a bat or throwing a ball. I mean, come on. It's like it's kind of excessive. It's like, I get that, you know, these are good players, but I mean, come on, where does it stop? I mean, you know, if a young player freaking comes up and he hits 40, 50 home runs a season for his first 5 seasons, and he becomes a free agent, is he going to get a $1 billion contract? I mean, come on. But, you know, nothing you can do about it, I guess. But the problem is that these teams like the Dodgers, mainly the Dodgers, that are spending these money contracts and they're deferring all this money. What I mean by deferring is it's not counting against the luxury tax threshold. So they'll still be playing the particular player long after the player retires. There's a player, I think it's the Mets or the Giants that are still playing. They're going to be paying him for another like 5 or 6 years plus. So, you know, these deferral contracts weren't bad, but now the Dodgers are taking advantage of it. Other teams have since started to do it. One of my teams, the Red Sox, is starting to do it. So, I mean, it is what it is, I guess. I mean, at least they're not doing it as much as the Dodgers, but the Dodgers are up here. Everybody else is down here. What I mean by that is the Dodgers are what I call a super team. They're a team that can capitalize on every mistake that a player, another team makes. We saw that in last year's World Series against the Yankees. The Yankees made some mistakes. The Dodgers capitalized on every single one of them. A team that can do that is very dangerous. That's why I say that any team that comes out of the American League, okay, Dodgers are in the World Series, it's like you're not going to win it. You may win 1 or 2 games if you're lucky. If you're lucky. But the Dodgers are still going to come out on top now. Red Sox made some moves this offseason. Finally. That's fine. Good chance they might make the playoffs. That's fine. But if they make it to the World Series, they're not going to win it. I'm not trying to downgrade them or anything like that, but I'm a realist. When you're up against a super team, they're just, it's like they may put up a fight. They may put up more of a fight than, say if like the Tigers or say Oakland somehow makes it, or Sacramento, wherever the hell they're playing now, say they make it. They're not going to have a chance against the Dodgers. Dodgers going to steamroll right over them. But teams like the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Rangers, maybe to Kansas City to some extent, at least if they make the World Series against the Dodgers, they may have, they'll put up a fight. At least they'll put up a fight. But they're probably still not going to come out on top. If by some chance they would, it would probably go. The series would probably go 7 games, and that 7th game would probably go into like 15 plus innings. That's the only scenario I say playing out that would work. But Dodgers are going to be a top team for a long time to come. So if you're a baseball fan, just know that. I'm probably going to bring back my WrestleZone show soon. I haven't done an episode of that for a while, so I'll do that. bringing back what I was talking about a little while ago. I'm not trying to be morbid or anything like that. I'm not having bad thoughts, so don't think about that. It's just, I'm a realist. Some people just aren't meant to be with anybody, And, where I live, it's freaking slim pickings. I mean, a lot of these women around here are freaking drug addicts, so it's like I would not be that desperate where I'd go that far. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, a lot of their freaking brains are already fried, so it's like, it's no point in wasting your time. But, I will probably do. I'm trying to think what other ideas I've had. I got another taste test coming up. Well, actually, I got one dropping later today. My friend Stan found the Butterbeer Chocolate Kisses. It's limited edition, so he's bringing me a few of those, so I'm going to try those for the channel. Almost forgot what they were for a minute there. As you can see, I'm drinking one of those orange cream Coca-Colas. Really good if you can find them. They should be everywhere now. Hopefully they keep it around this time. I don't know why some people don't like this. Tastes like a creamsicle. If you like creamsicles, I mean, you should like this. Just like any other soda, though, don't let it get warm, because like every other soda, it tastes nasty if it gets warm. Should be noted that, yes, yeah, I'm wearing a Back to the Future hat. This came from Temu, by the way. Pretty neat, huh? Yeah, it should be noted that I forgot what the hell I was gonna say. Oh yeah, so should be noted that if you're a wrestling fan, WrestleMania is going to be in the middle of April instead of at the beginning where it usually is. I don't know why, but whatever, I guess. The Elimination Chamber, I believe, is on March 1st. I see that in one of the chamber matches that idiot Logan Paul's in, so it's like I don't really see why the hell they keep pushing this guy. Another thing I don't agree with is they keep giving Charlotte Flair all these title opportunities, and it's like she hasn't earned any of them. She's a female version of her father. It's like I've come to the conclusion that either her or her father must have something on the WWE for her to keep getting these shots, because it sure as hell isn't her talent. And like I said, she looks like a female version of him, so it sure as hell isn't her looks. So what else is there? And I'm really annoyed that she's called the Queen. It's like, no, she ain't the Queen. She's not even in that conversation. Okay, there's a Queen of wrestling. It is either Trish Stratus or Lita, or it's Michelle McCool, or Beth Phoenix. Hell, even the ones that, hung it up too soon, like AJ Lee. Things like that. Paige. But, hell, even Becky Lynch or Sasha Banks or even Bayley. Bayley's still around. But Charlotte Flair, not even in that conversation. So don't even try it. So sick of hearing that. That was a stupid move right there, having her win the Royal Rumble. But, WrestleMania should be alright. It was pretty fun last year, so other random thoughts. Some people are bitching about those names of those military bases that are going back to what they were, like Fort Liberty is going to be going back to Fort Bragg. Well, you know what? It shouldn't have been changed in the first place, just because a few people were offended by it. It's like, you know what? You don't understand why it was named. Okay, it was named to honor these soldiers, and you can say that it's like, oh, these soldiers that fought for the South, they were traitors, and it's like, no, they weren't. It's like, if you believe that secession is treason, then don't celebrate July 4th. It's that simple. If that's your logic, then George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Ben Franklin, all these guys weren't heroes. If you're looking at it from that perspective. Okay? It's the same thing twisted around any way you want. And if you actually watch a documentary on the Revolution, because I have History Channel ones, they talk about slavery in it. So don't act like, slavery was just something that popped up and then the Civil War happened. That's what these liberals would have you believe. But these Southern soldiers, or Confederate soldiers, however you want to call them, they fought for the South, so, they deserve to be honored because they fought and died on a battlefield. They fought and died in a war. Something these liberals would not have the guts to do, and they know it too. So it's like they deserve to have their monuments up. They deserve to have these military bases named after them, the schools, the streets. And the funniest thing about the monuments is that they take the ones that are down from public land, and then more go up on private land. There's more private land than public land. And yet these little whiners can try to sue somebody that owns their private land. It's like, there's one in Virginia, around Virginia's turned liberal a long time ago, so they're trying to sue, like, this person doesn't like looking at the battle flag, so they're like, well, oh, it's offensive. Then don't look at it then. Unless you have some medical condition where you can't turn your head, you can't turn your neck. If you have a medical condition, then that's one thing. But if you can't, if you can turn your head, then don't fucking look at the damn flag. Don't look at the monuments. It's not that hard. But acting offensive doesn't make you right. Going out around whining doesn't make, saying you're offended doesn't make you sound smart. It makes you sound like a fucking moron. It's like everybody's offended by something, for whatever reason. And if you really want to play that card, that the flag's offensive, okay. What about the American flag? Okay, I've had this conversation with people. What do you think the Native Americans see when they look up at the American flag? You think they see pride? They were slaughtered by the millions. By the millions. For their land. And they're still disrespected today. They have to live on reservations, and every time they get something that honors them, like Land O'Lakes butter, for example. Yeah, how original. They took the Native American Indian off the butter and left the land. So there's your answer. And if you need further proof, if you really want to say a flag's offensive, which flag dropped the bomb on Hiroshima in 1945? Which flag really flew on those slave ships? Wasn't the battle flag, I'll tell you that. So if you really want to play that card, well, then the Stars and Stripes has more blood on it than the battle flag ever could have. And yeah, bad people have used the battle flag, I'll admit that. But I've seen them use the American flag too. I've seen people walk around with an American flag instead of the 50 stars in the corner. It's 50 swastikas, it's 50 Nazi signs. So don't go freaking telling me that they don't use that flag too, because they do. And the KKK, their official flag has always been the Stars and Stripes. It's never been the battle flag, and they've admitted that too. Just a select few pick up the battle flag every now and then, or other shit. I mean, there was one that was using the damn freaking Detroit Red Wings freaking symbol, walking around with that, a few years ago, which was kind of funny. I don't really understand the point of that, but whatever works, I guess. So they can hijack any symbol, but it doesn't mean that symbol's offensive to everybody, okay? That's what flags and symbols are. They're just symbols. Hate is in people's hearts. Just like that post I seen on Facebook that circulates every now and then. Love comes naturally, but hate is learned. It is. If you can have it drilled in your head that something is offensive or something represents hate, then that's what you're going to think. But you got to learn to think for yourself. You can't have people telling you that shit. And that's the reason why people suddenly found that flag. Not just the flag, but, I've seen more people, find the American flag and find these other symbols offensive. Because they had it drilled in their head, like on the media, on the news, that it was. That's the whole reason why it started in 2015, because some idiot shot up a church and he had like a little $2 flag in his freaking hand, or supposedly in his hand. I mean, from what I understand, the picture was photoshopped, but anyway, the media pushed it, and they pushed it, and they pushed it, and they pushed it even more until they drilled it into people's heads that were freaking offensive. I mean, people weren't really offended by it originally. I mean, you had your occasional heckler, like with everything else, but they listened to a bunch of liberals tell them that they should be offended by it, so they became offended by it, and then one thing evolved into another thing got offensive, another thing got offensive. Like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, there was actually a damn freaking petition to ban the song White Christmas because they said it was racist. Last time I checked, the song White Christmas was about snow. But, okay, if you say so, I guess. But, it goes even further than that. I mean, there's movies that have been around for like 70, 80 years that are all of a sudden offensive. TV shows that are all of a sudden offensive, like the Dukes of Hazzard, which, was never even remotely racist. They had more black actors on that show than shows like Friends or Seinfeld ever did. That's a pretty interesting fact, huh? But it's true. And you can look that fact up. Fact up, too. It's true. But, that's the thing. I mean, I knew it wasn't going to stop with that, that one flag. It's like, it's everything and everything that people find offensive. It's, sports teams' names. It's, logos for food. It's names of food. It's like, Aunt Jemima's syrup, which I used to buy, by the way, is now Pearl Mill something or other, Pearl Mill syrup, or whatever the hell it's called. I don't know. Don't pay attention to it. But I haven't bought it since. Because Aunt Jemima was a brand. Now you see what I'm saying? Just like there's no Uncle Ben's rice anymore. I mean, I don't really eat rice, but I remember seeing it in the stores. But, yeah, it's just things like that. I told people, it's like, once this starts, it's like it wasn't going to stop. And it's been almost 10 years. It's 2025 now. And it hasn't stopped. It hasn't slowed down, and I don't know that it's going to. But, that's the way it goes, I guess. I mean, everybody's offended by something, and it's like, well, you know, these people's ignorance offends me, if I want to play that card. But, you know, the thing about these people that say they're offended by everything is that it really only goes one way. Okay, really, the only ones that are allowed to say anything and have it actually people listen to them is the liberals. That's the sad irony of it. I mean, you know, I don't really vote or anything like that, but I consider myself conservative. I sure as hell ain't a liberal. But it's like, if I say something, you know, if I have an opinion on something, it falls on, you know what's going to fall on deaf ears. Because they say that everyone's opinion matters or everybody has a say. That's bullshit. Only certain people have a say. Just like I have a lot of black friends that are conservative. You know, they don't have a problem with the battle flag. They freaking, you know, they carry what they need for protection or whatever. They hunt, they fish, you know. But people don't listen to them because they don't fit the narrative. They don't fit the narrative of what society thinks they should be. And that's the biggest problem here. It's like, you know, they think they should go a certain way. So they're trying to like control what you think, and that's true. Because people like Bill Gates, they want to freaking they want to put chips in people so they can control what they think and what they do. Man, I know that sounds far-fetched, but you know, these people are like that. That's what things have come down to. But I'm not going to take up too much more of your time. Like I said, this is just a random thought video. I haven't done one of these for a while, so I thought I'd just, you know, throw one together, and I'll just, you know, I won't even schedule this to drop. I'll just drop it, you know. On another note, there's supposed to be in April, if you're a country music fan like I am, there's supposed to be a CD and vinyl record of Patsy Cline coming out. There's unreleased live versions of her songs. You know, these are, you know, not like overdubs or anything like that. These have never been released before. And I went down the list of the track listing, and I can already tell you I'm intrigued, because one of the songs, I mean, they're all good songs, of course, but one of the songs in particular is a cover version of the Hank song, You Win Again. So it will be nice to hear Patsy's version of the Hank song, because she loved Hank. She loved him. That's why you see these tributes these days. I mean, I've never been to one of these combined ones, but they have these Hank and Patsy Cline tribute shows that they do. There was one like a decade ago called Honky Tonk. It was Hank and Patsy, and they had the guy play Hank and one play Patsy Cline, and they actually had one that did Minnie Pearl as well for the show. So that was, I watched the the teaser video for that, or trailer for it, you know, the show that you could have gone to see at that time, which I would have loved to have seen, but you know, yeah, these things are usually limited, so you know, I don't think it made it where I was anyways. It seems like it was mostly in Virginia and like around there, Kentucky and things like that. Didn't seem to go much further than that when I saw the tour dates. So yeah, it must have been a regional thing. So, which that's a pretty small region for, you know, a couple tribute to a couple artists that are that popular. But that's just the way it is, I guess. Maybe the ones that were doing it didn't want to travel very long. I don't know, but it'll be nice to get that for my collection, my music collection. So I was always wondering if there was more out there of Patsy Cline, because it seems like, you know, you get the box set, okay, which is a 4-disc set of hers. Other than, you know, like budget titles and stuff like that, and, you know, there's really not a lot out there for her. I mean, I got like Live at the Opry and Live at the Cimarron Ballroom and things like that, but there's really not a lot out there for her. They don't seem to be discovering as much new stuff as they do with Hank, and Hank died like a decade before she did. But so that's why this will be nice to get something else for the collection. That's not till mid-April though, so that's a ways from now. Sorry, I still got morning mucus. Always happens when I wake up in the morning. Slept okay last night, I guess, but so movie theaters have been closing down. If you go to see movies, I actually don't have a movie theater near me anymore. It's a good thing I don't really go to a movie theater a lot. The closest one's like, I don't know, I guess you could say it's like 5-6 miles away, and then the only other one is a lot further than that, so sorry about that. Yeah, that's the way it goes. I mean, it is what it is. Well, like I said, though, I'll have more videos for y'all soon. Episode 34 of Flea Market, Yard Sale, and Thrift Store Finds will be dropping in a few days. I got a taste test that's going to drop at about 12:30 today, so I'll definitely watch that. Couple more taste tests after that, one of which I will probably film when I get home today, because I'll have those candies, so I'll probably just film that, schedule that to drop, get that out of the way. And again, what I said earlier in the video, I don't say those things to be mean or whatever, but sometimes you just gotta tell it like it is. I mean, if somebody doesn't want to be in your life, then that's on them, I guess. It's like, I'm more like Hank Williams and Dale Earnhardt than people realize. I mean, one thing I have in common with them, I'm sure I have a lot more in common with them, but is that they didn't give a shit what somebody thought of them. It's like, anybody that knows me, really knows me, knows, some people aren't gonna like you. That's just the way it is. It's like I don't fucking lose sleep over it. I know some people though that does bother. They may say that they don't. I'm not gonna mention their names, but they say that they don't care who likes them, who doesn't like them, but I know because not just because I'm good at reading people, which I am, but because they've told me it's like that it does bother them that people don't like them. It's just the way it is. That's life. Another thing that I run into is that people think that they understand, who a person is. It's like, well, there's maybe 1 or 2 people that understand who I am, okay? A lot of people may think they understand me, they may think they know what's inside me, and it's like, no, you don't, because I don't let people in. Closest thing you might get to that is when you see me singing with Hank Williams when I have Hank Williams playing. You might get a glimpse of what's inside me. Maybe. But, there's a tribute song about Hank by his son Hank Jr. and it's got a line in it that says, Hank sung a real good song, and I'll say he did, 'cause he opened up his heart and he poured out the soul that most other folks always keep hid. Yes, he did. And, well, it's not wrong. I mean, those are things a lot of us keep hid. And I know I do. So like I said, there's maybe 2 people that know the real me, or at least close to knowing the real me. Very select few do. And those 2 people, I'm pretty sure they know who they are, but most people don't know the real me. So, you know, I like it that way. I don't trust a lot of people. Trusting too many people hasn't gotten me that far, so. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up. I'll see y'all next time. I'll have more videos for y'all soon. I'll see y'all later.